Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Monday, November 25th, and we are here trying to help you make better, less bad, maybe more considered financial decisions. We do that in a very, very easy way. All we have to do, we're kind of like inbound responders, like we're waiting for you to get in touch with us. So to do that, you go to our website, jillonmoney.com. You click on the Contact Us button. Easy to do. It's always in the upper right-hand corner of the website. You complete the form. That's the email we receive. If you'd like to join us live, check the box. Mark does everything else. There's podcast links. There's blog links. There's video links, resources. Don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. It comes out every single Friday. All right. Today, we are talking to listener Jeff, who's on the line from the Midwest, Illinois specifically. We kind of feel comfortable believing there's more than one Jeff from Illinois. So I'm sorry if I've outed you, Jeff, but here you are. Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
What's going on?
Oh, nothing. Just getting ready for Thanksgiving. So just add one more stressor to the pot.
Jeez. Bah humbug.
Really? Wow. What a great upbeat way to start the work week. Thanks, man. Okay. And next, Jeff, bring it up a notch. Okay. You're here. You're talking to us. Everything's good. What can we do for you? We cannot take away the holiday stress.
Well, I have a lot of upcoming changes, both in the work life and the home life. Mm-hmm. Things were pretty much on cruise control. We had our typical, 2 kids. I've been working at my job for over 10 years. Everything seems automated, finances with retirement, but taking a new job position, and that is going to change some funds, and I have some retirement questions on how to deal with that. And then we have one more child that's on the way. So
you bought 2 with an option for another. Interesting.
Yeah.
How old are the 2 kids?
The girl is 6, my son is 3, and this next one is a question mark.
It's nice, though. That's like a decent amount of time between them. You've certainly spread it out pretty well, as much as you can control these things. Jeff, how old are you?
I am 42.
How old is your wife?
35.
Okay. And are you both working full-time?
I'm working full-time. She was full-time until the second one, and then she dropped down to part-time. So she does about 24 hours a week.
Okay. And how much does she earn on that 24 hours a week?
She brings home about 55 a year on that 24.
Wow, that's great. And so you said you're switching jobs. That's exciting. So Tell us what's happening there.
Yeah, it's mostly a family move. My current job, my schedule is completely up for grabs. It's a healthcare job. So, I know how many hours a month I'm going to work, but beyond that, I don't know the days, could be nights, could be weird shifts. I'm not home, half the month I'm not home in the evening to help with the
that's no good.
Yeah, dinner, bath, bed, which is kind of like the most stressful time in the house.
Oh my God. I feel very lucky. All I have to do is walk the dog and feed them. Okay. So right now you're working full time, but out of control. So what's your so your current salary is how much?
Currently it's $155.
Okay. And the new job will be how much?
It will be $115, but that's a caveat because I will bump up to back up to $155 after 6 months.
Oh, that's good. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now with wacky schedule, 155 and your wife's 55, how has the cash flow been for you guys?
It's been pretty good up till now. Like I said, everything has been pretty automated. I max out my 401k. She's been getting her match, which is up to 3%, and then she does another 5%. Mortgage kind of just comes out of the automated, checking account. Mm-hmm. It seems in my mind, it sounds kind of dumb that I say it's paycheck to paycheck, but it's really not. I mean, it's paycheck to paycheck.
I know what you mean. Like once you've put all this money away,
Correct.
Then it's like I got you.
Correct.
So,
and that includes I was doing 529s and we were doing a little bit into a brokerage account. So,
all right, let's get a grip on all of this for a second. So when is this new job starting?
December 2nd. December
Okay.
2nd. Yeah.
Oh, it's so
Quickly.
close.
Yeah.
Okay. And will you also have a 401k at the new job?
Yeah, except it's a little more complicated because the new job is a state position. Yeah, so
Ooh,
it will have a 8% mandatory that goes
pension.
to a correct if you choose the pension. But
Mm-hmm.
then part of the question is there's actually an upper limit to if you choose the traditional pension, which I will be making beyond that. So part of the question is, do I choose to put the traditional pension or do I do what they call RSP, which allows me to get that 8% plus another 7% match without the upper limit of 100. Their upper limit's 115,000. So anything beyond that, I wouldn't get any match. I wouldn't get any
Oh,
8%.
interesting. Let's go back a little bit as well. How much money is in your current 401k?
So I have a rollover from an old job and my
Mm-hmm.
current. So my old rollover IRA is 256.
Okay.
That is in traditional. My current is 226,
Also
and
traditional?
28 of that is Roth.
Okay. And your wife's retirement account, the what she has in based on her part-time?
Yep, she's got 70 in her 401, and
Mm-hmm.
five of that is Roth.
Okay. Any old rollover for her?
No, but we do have back a couple like a decade ago, we were contributing to our own Roth. So,
Mm.
there's an additional 29K in a Roth for me.
Mm-hmm.
There's an additional 15K in a Roth for her,
Okay.
and
Great.
there's an additional 60K in HSA.
Wow, that's good. Who has the HSA? Did you have it?
Me, yep.
Are you going to use that? Will you have in your new plan a high deductible health plan with an HSA?
I don't know. I haven't really looked too deep into that. There's a plethora of health options, health care options. So I think
Okay.
in the meantime, we'll probably take the one with the lower deductible, just because we've been with the kids. It's like it's like an automatic $6,000 you're going to spend every single year
Yep. I
because
gotcha. I got it. I understand. You mentioned a brokerage account earlier. How much is in there?
27.
And how about just plain cash, like checking, savings,
Yeah,
CDs?
I mean, there's 30,000 in the emergency.
Hmm.
And there's typically about 10 in the checking account just for who knows what pops up.
Gotcha. And you also said you own a home. What's the house worth?
It's 500,
And mortgage outstanding.
260 at 2.5.
Oh my God. Okay. And is that a 30 year?
Yes.
Okay, great. So when you make this shift in just a week, okay, the question I have is how are you going to float the lower amount, the that you're making 40 grand less?
Mm.
What are you going to do in these first 6 months? Just like so we can, kind of just manage cash flow first.
Yeah, I will. I have a lot of PTO in my old position that I
Hmm.
can actually sell out one to one.
Really? And
Yeah,
how much will that cover you?
that'll cover me for about 15,000,
Okay.
and then I will also get a signing bonus, so that'll cover another 12,000.
Oh, so you're pretty good. Do you think that you'll have to? I mean, I guess the other thing is this baby is coming, and maybe your wife's income will shift a little bit.
Yeah.
So, how much do you think you will need? We just think about the first 6 months of 2025. How much money do you think you'll just need to have on hand? Because we know we're going to have 27, the PTO and the signing bonus, but what else? Because that doesn't feel like enough to me.
I don't know. I mean, we can definitely we started reducing our monthly like cash expenditures
Uh huh.
once we kind of found out like, oh, hey, everything's coming to a head at once. So, we can reduce. I think right now we almost not including, well, actually, yeah, not including the mortgage, we probably spend I think about seven a month, 7 8 a month, 7K
Okay.
to 8K. So I mean, we can easily.
Okay.
reduce that to 4K, I think.
Well, we don't have to. I mean, that's a lot. Well, I mean, it feels like that's a pretty dramatic change for you. Okay. So it sounds like you're fairly covered in terms of this transition. And so in the new job, are the big questions about whether to use the traditional pension or this RSP? And that's one question, right? And
Yep.
then the old 401k, is that just going to roll into what your traditional is right now?
I haven't decided that yet. I know my old 401 is at T Rowe, and my current
Okay.
is in Merrill Lynch, which is actually they're switching to Vanguard here shortly.
Uh-huh.
And I know the T Rowe price. I had actually read a couple areas like, once you get so many or so much money in a specific like fund or IRA, they'll
Uh-huh.
reduce the fees. So I
Uh-huh.
didn't know if it was a smarter move to push everything to T Rowe because they've done fine with me. But I've been really lazy. I've done target retirement on everything up to this point.
Oh, can we shift that a little bit? So what you're saying is the rollover account, you rolled over from a T Row plan into a rollover at T Row, right? That you're
Yes.
self-managing. Okay, just want to make sure I understood that. In the RSP, so we know that there's this upper limit for this state job, right? But what we don't know is whether you're really going to want to stick around for the period of time that would make it kind of lock you into the pension system, which I imagine to get like the best benefits is more like 20 years. Is that about right?
To get the health retirement
Yeah.
benefits is 20 years, but
Hmm.
I think the actual vesting for the pension is 8 to 8 years, I think.
Okay. Do you feel like you want to like take the risk? Like, how are you feeling about this?
I think so. I mean, I've spoken to some colleagues that I've actually worked with personally at my current job that have moved over to this new job, and and I've done a lot of shadowing there. I've actually gone there and spent some time there, so I think that I'm very hopeful that I'll be there for the long term.
Hmm. Okay. So I guess the question is if you were to use the RSP, it allows an 8% contribution on all of the money you have, right? Is that right? And then
Correct.
it is a match, but tell me how the match works. Is it a straight, in other words, do you have to put in 7 to get 7, or what's the
No.
actual? Okay, let
No,
me
it's
hear
an
about this.
automatic. It's an automatic 7.6. So I think there's a mandatory 8%
Yeah.
that goes into this plan that they get because you don't pay into Social Security with the position,
Oh, I see.
and
I gotcha.
and then there's an automatic 7.6% match beyond that,
Uh-huh.
which of course also hits an upper limit if you don't
Mm-hmm.
do the RSP version.
What are you leaning towards right now? I have like a sense that you're leaning away from the traditional, and I just want to figure out why. Because you feel like you're leaving money on the table.
Yeah, yeah, that's the only reason why
Mm-hmm.
because I think I don't know how many raises that I'll get in the future. I mean, that could be little, that could be many. I have no idea, but I know at some point, I'm going to be within a year. I'm going to be back to
At 155,
155.
and then
Yeah,
you'll probably get like cost of living adjustments, right?
hopefully.
Yeah, oh, stop. Okay. Okay. So I get where you're going with this. It's a weird thing only because you happen to mention you're from Illinois, and Illinois has a very bad pension funding scheme, which does not
Yeah,
mean that they're not going to pay it. It just means that this is why I understand this is to be it's very different than many other state plans because they have such a huge pension imbalance in the state finances. Mark, are you comfortable foregoing the guarantee of the defined benefit plan, and using what is essentially more of a defined contribution plan?
Believe it or not, I'm leaning pension.
You
Just
are?
yeah, because he thinks he's going to be there for a while. I trust him on that. It's probably going to be a fat pension. I'm not. Yeah, I know Illinois, but I don't know. I'm going to trust that kind of worked out some of their issues. It's been a while since they've been in the news. And I was reading ahead in his email, this new retirement plan, like they've already got a lot of pre-tax money. This new retirement plan doesn't have a Roth option. So he's just going to be stockpiling more pre-tax money.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the other thing would be is that if you're only making a contribution on your 115 on the defined benefit, right? If that's where it maxes out, you could then turn around and put more money in your brokerage account, right? I mean, that would free you up a little bit because if you weren't putting it all away in this pre-tax RSP, you would have the cash flow to add. So I guess it's almost like a hedge in some respects. The reason why I tend to like the security of this state job, of the pension as an opportunity is, I think you probably are going to say, I feel like those health benefits are going to be massive for you guys. And since your wife is working part-time, maybe she'll go back full-time, right? Eventually.
I think so. Once the youngest is in probably kindergarten.
So when you think about that, 5 or 6 years from now, her 55, what would that go to? Would that go to 100?
Probably more at that point. She gets
Okay.
some pretty good cost of living adjustments.
Okay.
Raises.
Would she be entitled to a pension?
No.
Okay. Let me ask you another question. Who is the plan provider in this RSP? Where am I stuck? Because sometimes
Voya.
state plan. Oh, that's not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I am torn on this one. I really am. I think that there's two pieces of it. So I would understand it if you said, no, I just want to make it automatic. It's easy. The money comes out. But if you would be willing to say, I'm going to take $1,000 or $1,500 a month that will be freed up instead of putting money into the RSP, that I'll put the money into the defined benefit up to 115. But then as that money is freed up, when my salary goes up, that I would then take that money and put it into the brokerage account. That $27,000 brokerage account becomes more of like the building block of the the taxed retirement supplemental account, like, because we don't have a Roth option for you. Although, Mark, where is that Roth cutoff? Let me just see something here.
230 for this year.
So for next year, it'll be like 240. You might be able to make a Roth contribution next year just because your salary is going to be low. You should check that out, And then if you make 2 Roth contributions next year, then you are essentially doing exactly what you would have done with the RSP, which is putting the extra money in and giving yourself that cash flow. If you have it, I know it's going to be a lot of things that change. I'm leaning towards pension as well, but I could, Voya's okay. It's not great. You got to be careful. Those are expensive funds. Make sure you only use index funds if you are going to use it. But I am leaning towards defined benefit. Illinois is not going to welch on their payment of the existing plan participants. More likely is they just keep watering the plan down and making it worse and worse the younger people who come in. Now, in terms of what to do with the old accounts, I would love it if you could just all be consolidated in one place. So at that traditional rollover is in T. Rowe Price. I would roll the old plan into that account. And then I think we should also, so that would be the 226 goes right into, that's your current, that goes into your rollover. You've got one big fat account. You move the 28,000 that's a Roth part of your 401k, move that into your Roth, and do this right now, because otherwise it's like you lose track. And we want to make sure Roth goes to Roth, pre-tax goes to pre-tax. And now I think, my friend, you have graduated from target date funds, and we need to get you to invest in T. Rowe Price index funds, which will be really, really cheap. And I think it's time. Mark agreed? Like ready to rock? He's going to have $500,000 in this account.
Well, I agree, but he also says he's kind of lazy and he doesn't really want to think about it. So if that's the case, that's a target date fund is for this type of person.
I feel like Jeff needs a hobby. He's a little bit, I get it. No, I'm only kidding. If you would be willing to do so, Jeff, it will be better for you. If you just, even if you said to me, like, if I look at that target date fund, you're 42 years old and you had, 65 or 70% in a stock index, and 30 or 35% in a bond index, and once a year you rebalanced. That's it in your retirement account. That's it. What's in the brokerage account? What do you have there?
Just S&P.
Okay. So what you doing it there? Is that in T row also?
Yep.
Okay. So everything has to be a T row. Let's make that happen. Absolutely.
Okay.
The question about the 529 how much money do you have in the 6 and the 3-year-old's 529 accounts?
The 6 has 20 and the 3-year-old has 10.
And are you putting money in every single month or not?
We were. We stopped. Once I started crunching all these numbers, we stopped contributing to the brokerage and we stopped contributing to the 529 a couple months ago, which the plan is probably to not contribute until, my salary reaches that kind of max potential.
And there is a benefit, right? As a state employee for college, what's that benefit?
50% off in-state.
Dude, that's great. All right, you got to stay in this job. How long do you have to stay in to get that benefit?
7 years.
I'm sorry to say you're in for 18 years at least. I want that money. 50% a state university is fantastic. 6 months, let's just batten down the hatches. I agree. Don't put money in the 529. Don't put money in the brokerage. Get your cash flow in line. Do what you need to do. Go get that PTO. Go get that signing bonus, right? And you should be okay. Now, by the end of the year, you're going to know a lot more. You're going to have a better sense once you go up to 155. At that point, free cash flow, for every dollar that you have of free cash flow, I would love it if it went to retirement, either you can do a Roth IRA if you qualify, right? Mm-hmm. Or you would put it in the brokerage /529. But we're going to have to wait till the end of the year to figure this out. So You could split it. That's fine with me. You can go, if you said, I'm going to put $600 a month into my brokerage account and there's $300 a month that's going into the 529s, 100, 100, 100. That's fine. You still can, you don't have to go crazy saving for the 529. The brokerage is going to be fine. And then let's see if you make it 7 years. I feel good about this now. I feel so good about that 7. Oh boy. That's juicy. You have 3 kids. You're the main wage earner. Do you have life insurance?
Yes.
What do you have?
We both have $1 million.
Is that enough, Mark?
It's not terrible. It's.
Does that if that state plan gives you a little ability to buy some cheap term also, do me a favor and grab a little bit more, like $500,000 more for you.
Okay.
If possible. How about the Magic Estate documents? Done? Not done?
Yeah, but they're pretty generic. It was just kind of like the, I don't even know what the online service is called anymore.
Whatever, LegalZoom, blah, 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 Willmaker. Yeah, fine. Okay. That's good. Just make sure you add that kid.
Well, I already forgot
kid. Yeah, remember that one. I think you're good, Jeff. I love the idea of this. Like, look at all the benefits this guy's getting. It's incredible. It really is incredible. So if you're considering maybe shifting your career so that you go from the private sector to the public sector, you see what we're looking at here? The value of these benefits in the near term, it's just huge. So give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com, JillOnMoney.com. Click the contact us button, write us a note, and come on the air and we'll walk you through how valuable those benefits really are. And it's amazing. I'm ready to go get a state job myself, Mark, right away for the next 6 months. How long do I have to work in the state? 20 years, basically. Sorry, that's not going to work for me. But if you're in your 40s, this is a good game plan. Some of these benefits are just incredible. So let us know how we can help you out. Go to the website, check out all of our content. It lives there. Don't forget you can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcast. Please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. And lift someone up. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.